Welcome to the Soapbox Sessions. Imagine this, an open and free internet where voices are never silenced, where causes aren't shadow banned, and where no one can be deplatformed. It's real, it's here, and it's happening on Nostr. So what exactly is Nostr? It's a worldwide community of everyday people working to decentralize the internet. On Nostr, you can build websites, communities, social networks, apps, and more. One login works everywhere, you own it, and no one can take it away. No more juggling dozens of platforms, chasing audiences, or managing a giant password list. And the cherry on top? Nostr allows for built-in digital payments that can come from anywhere in the world. On Nostr, value flows as freely as ideas. We're hooked on decentralizing the web, and we think you will be too. So now, let's hear from your hosts, Derek Ross and Heather Larson, who are working to grow Nostr one vibe at a time.
Welcome back to Soapbox Sessions. Today is October 9th, 2025, and we're here with your weekly dose of all things decentralized social and AI. Soapbox Sessions is our soapbox about what's new, what's cool, and what's coming. We want to make it easy to understand and keep up with everything happening in the decentralized world of social communication and AI as we work to rebuild the internet. How are we, Heather? How are we doing?
I'm good, sir. And yourself? The best is yet to come,
I'm doing
says
good.
the shirt.
The best is yet to come. Yeah, so if you're listening, Heather said that because the hoodie that I'm wearing says the best is yet to come on it. And the B in best is a Bitcoin B.
The Bitcoin
This
best
is a Bitcoin
yet to come.
hoodie from
Where is that from? I haven't seen that one.
Bulgaria. It's a Bulgarian. Is it Bulgaria? Yeah, it's a Bulgarian soccer team or a football team if you're from
Get
that
technical.
part of the world.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
American, so we just call football by NFL football.
Yeah,
We're
I
talking
bought
about
this-
soccer.
Where did I buy this at? I bought this in Madeira at the
really?
at the Bitcoin Atlantis conference in 2024. It was worth it. It's a nice high quality hoodie, and I wear it, when hoodie weather is around to do some subtle orange pilling.
Nice. Yeah, the hoodie weather, I was checking for Nostr Valley's weather, and it apparently I will have an opportunity to put on a hoodie for once.
Well, we're having this thing here in the Northeast where we call it a nor'easter.
Oh, that's a big
and
storm.
that's when the Canadian weather gets angry at us for threatening to invade them, and they push all the cold weather down towards us, and that interacts with weather from
The
the
jet
Atlantic
stream?
Ocean, and they basically fight in the Northeast. We have these cold fronts that do all sorts of angry stuff. I'm not a meteorologist, but I know that when we hear nor'easter, that means it's going to be a lot of snow and rain and ice and weather, and it's going to suck.
Do I need a winter coat for Nostr Valley? Am I going to freeze?
No,
Okay.
it's too early for that type of nor'easter. It'll be cold.
Oh,
but
okay.
Man, I hope we don't get snow already. I think
Kinda.
several years ago we did have snow on Halloween, but I can never remember having snow earlier than that. So I think we'll be okay.
I'll freeze
Yeah,
being from Nostr Phoenix,
You'll be all
so
right.
I'll be okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely going to be cold from Phoenix, but you're having your own little weather system out there. I saw that you're having a tropical
Rain.
storm coming, right?
Yeah, I heard a
Rain.
noise outside today,
It's gonna
and
rain.
I I said, "What was that noise?" It was rain on my patio. Oh my God, there's
Nice.
water out there.
Nice.
What am I gonna do? The national emergency for Phoenix.
Well, if we end up having rain, so in Nostr Valley here, that's coming up in a week, or from the time this goes live in a day or two from the time this goes live. So Nostr Valley is officially on October 18th.
Mm-hmm.
It's a free event that is happening in central Pennsylvania, also known as Happy Valley. The town is officially called State College, but the area, it's a big, large valley, and everybody there is really happy, I guess. So it's Happy Valley.
Happy Valley.
Yeah,
I'm excited because I haven't been there before.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's right in the heart of central Pennsylvania. If you've heard of Penn State University, so it's literally right there where Penn State is. So it's going to be a fun-filled Nostr weekend. We're going to start out with doing some events for people that get in early Friday night. We're going to go to a local cidery, get some food trucks, listen to some live music. So if you're
right on.
arriving early, come hang out with us in the evening. Then
Do it, I'll be there.
The main event starts the next day. Yeah.
All right.
The main event that starts on the 18th, it is from noon until 4 p.m. And if you can't make it in person, I'm going to put on my best Reverend Hoddle and X-Frog costumes, I guess, virtual costumes, and I'm going to stream the event. Now it's not going to be like professional like they can do, but I'm going to do damn near as good as I can do. So
Derek's
I
going to
bought a
turn on a
400
camera
Hey,
and point it at us.
I bought a $450 camera to turn on and point at you. It's going to be a good one. X-Frog actually recommended it. It's a Logitech Mevo, and he knows what he's doing. So if he told me to get it, I fully have faith in his ability to recommend a camera. So that's what we're going to use.
That's a lot more than my last date spent on me. So
so I don't know what really to say for that. Besides, you either go big or go home, Heather. And I'm not going home. I'm showing up with a big camera.
I'm not sure what to say about that.
Well, I don't know either. I guess we'll find out during the live stream.
So it'll be an adventure. Where are we streaming? Where is it? Tunester.io is one of the places. Zap.stream. Where all?
I don't know if it'll be on Tunester because
breaking news.
I guess Open Mic could probably whitelist the Noster Valley NPub to allow it to be on Tunester. But I'm going to stream it, and it's going to be on nostervalley.com. So if you go to nostervalley.com, you click on the little live link. We'll be live there. It'll be live on Zap.stream. It'll be live on Amethyst. It'll be live on Nostr, on Primal, Nostrudel. All the popular Noster apps that show live streams.
Okay.
It'll be on Fountain too, because Fountain shows live streams. Yeah,
there you go.
So
anything streamable.
If Mike, whitelists us to do that, which we
my NPub is whitelisted. You could always do it on the Heather Larson NPub. It is whitelisted. I just don't know how to do it.
But then it wouldn't be on the Noster Valley NPub, Heather.
I see.
We do that? It's all about that branding. We got to brand it.
We got to brand the Noster Valley Conference. Is it a conference or is it a summit or is it a hangout? What are we going to call it officially?
I'll tell you what. I'm officially going to call it a HIRL. Do you know what a
HIRL
is? A HIRL. HIRL.
Okay, I was thinking
real life.
No,
not like not that kind of HIRL. Hang out in real life.
Hang out in real life.
Yeah, this goes back to my Google Plus days a decade ago. And
oh my God.
We used to call
You've been on
HIRLs.
the internet a while.
I've been on the internet for a day or two, right? It's been a few days. It's
been a while. Just a couple minutes.
HIRL was just to hang out in real life and
hang out in real life.
Call whatever you want. Call it a meetup, an unconference, a gathering of nostriches, a flock meeting, whatever.
A flock. We're flocking to central Pennsylvania.
We're flocking
for Noster Valley. Yes, we're flocking.
I like it. Flock into central PA. That's what we're doing.
There we go.
I think some people want to know if they've never attended a conference, a
Noster event. Yeah,
if you've never attended a Noster event, why do you do this? Because I just said I'm going to stream it, so you could obviously watch it online.
If you just want the information, you can watch it online. But the best experience is being there, hanging out.
So let's talk about the schedule here first, then we'll get into that. Kind of jumping around here. Apologize, I forgot. I nerd sniped myself there for a second.
It's the ADHD.
You know what I realized? Today, I'm going to nerd snipe myself again here. On Nostr today, someone asked me what nerd sniping was, and I explained it, and he replies back something like, "Oh, ADHD," and I'm like, yeah.
We did say that on the Nerd Snipe episode.
I guess I have a touch of the HD,
The hyperactive deficit I put the video on our YouTube channel today. So if somebody wants to what are they talking about with the Nerd Snipe? It's explained on the Soapbox YouTube channel, so that you don't want to miss out on some of the
nerd sniping is a cool way to say he has ADHD.
Yeah, it's a term we came up with. It just means that you had something that you were supposed to do, but your nerdiness got a little shiny object syndrome and
distracts me.
It does.
So
it's okay.
At Noster Valley, let's go back to the schedule here. So we're going to talk about Noster. We're going to open up with Manamy talking about Noster and what it is, Noster for social apps. Shout out to Manny. He will be
Yeah, we love Manny.
the only guy there wearing a cowboy hat. I guarantee it.
You never
I'm
know.
gonna love every minute of it.
Remember when we were in
Austin?
Austin? Somebody showed up wearing a cowboy hat in Austin. Don't you remember? We were at what's now
Manny
Bitcoin
wasn't
Park.
there though in Austin.
That's true. Yeah, but no, he always travels with a cowboy hat.
Okay. Well,
I just brought back a core memory. Yeah,
Val had a cowboy hat on in Austin.
Yeah.
Stop nerd sniping me and try to tell a story here.
You nerd snipe yourself. Go on.
All right. So, anyways, Heather, she has the next talk. Yeah, you're going to talk about Nostr and creators, I believe, right?
Nostr for creators, yeah, because, if you've ever created anything online, you probably didn't really get anywhere, like whether it was YouTube or Patreon or blogging, or maybe you wrote on Medium, or maybe you wrote on Twitter, like there's probably a better way, obviously, and that thing is called Nostr. So I want to give kind of like the how-to, like how you can take what you do on, maybe any of those aforementioned platforms and turn that around and make it work for you on Nostr, which is actually pretty exciting because the apps keep getting better. And so, this talk will never happen again because by the time I ever give it again, there'll be 18 more apps and, better ways to do even what we think is already better than the legacy platforms where, like I think I made a total of 60 cents now on Medium. And I have like,
ooh, there you go. That's, what can we buy for 60 cents? Like a pack of geek?
Nothing.
Can't buy a pack of gum for that anymore.
Nothing. You can't buy anything. But if you look at my lifetime earnings on Nostr, just shit posting and putting up memes and pictures of my cats, I've probably made 5 million sats. So that's like I don't know how much that is.
At least one pack of gum.
That's with the inflation these days, right?
With inflation,
and I'm not going to say that you can replace, if you are doing well on the legacy platforms, I'm not going to say that you can replace that, but I think it can augment what you might be doing on legacy platforms. And then if we're talking about music, for sure, then you could definitely, replace what you're getting on Spotify, which is probably about as much as I'm getting on Medium after publishing nearly 300 things there over the years. The point being is that, you can do things the traditional way, and you also have this great alternative now called Noster that's getting better, and there are ways to do the traditional things that you're probably already doing. You don't really have to bend your brain. You just kind of sign up for a couple things and give it a go. Maybe bring your audience over, maybe find a new audience. So that's what I'll be talking about.
Cool. So next up is Mandana and Ian. Now they attended Nostr Valley 1.0 a year ago, and when they were here, they announced their new company called,
Nextblock. Nextblock.
Yeah, name escaped me. Nextblock. And their whole company was going to release a platform for mining your attention, essentially.
I love that.
But
I'm actually excited about this.
A little bit more.
Got a little alpha for you.
On what they're going to talk about. Yeah.
So they are going to talk about their very first app that is coming out from Nextblock, and that app is called Billboard. So it is an attention marketplace. So think about a video app like TikTok that would play ads. And so you decide what ads you want to see. You decide what your attention's worth. And advertisers try to get your attention. And, for example, if I were using Billboard and I saw an ad that I hated, maybe it was, some AI slop trying to sell me some auto insurance or something, and it was a terrible ad, I could just say, you know what, don't ever show this to me again. And it would actually work, unlike the real world where you tell, I'm not interested in this ad. You say that to Twitter or YouTube or whatever, and you were still force-fed that ad
and
for the rest of your life. Yeah. So, that's one angle of it, but the angle is a price matching where, say I wanted to, put up an advertisement for my podcast and I, said, all right, find me some people who are willing to, receive some sats in order to watch my ad is kind of the basis there. And if I'm somebody who's just going to watch ads, maybe I have nothing to advertise, I'm going to, say, hey, my attention is worth at least, 8 sats an ad or, whatever it is.
And I think that's really important because we often talk about being in control of our own feeds because we want to see certain content. But it goes so much further than that we should be able to be in charge of our attention because that is what is up for grabs on all these legacy platforms, they are trying to monetize your attention. And if my attention is going to be monetized, I'd like to be the one that's monetizing it, right? Like I would like to be able
I
to
should
say
decide.
what that's worth. Yeah. So that's very cool. I'm excited to see how they've built this over the last year, and look forward to them announcing their app. What's that?
Now about Billboard, they are going to give us some early access codes. So if you're in attendance, you'll probably get one. Yeah. So yeah, and I think if you're watching online, they'll probably work too. So it's definitely worth checking out.
Nice. So next up, I'm going to be speaking about, I don't know, something called Shakespeare. You've never heard me talk about that before.
The vibe
I'm going to be talking about, building on Noster, digital spaghetti. I'm going to say all the buzzwords. I'm going to say why this is extremely important, why it's good to have as many ideas out there, as many app ideas out there. Throw them all against the wall, see what it sticks. Because I believe that the more ideas we have, the more freedoms we have. So I think being able to turn any idea into an application by having a conversation is very powerful, as you've heard me say on the show numerous times.
Oh yeah,
so I'm going to do that and do a little bit of a demo, for everybody.
I agree. I think I'm realizing it more too. The more I play with Shakespeare and try to make things,
right?
The more you vibe code, the more ideas you have. Because at last time we recorded a podcast episode, I stayed up. You're a bad influence on me. I stayed up late and I was vibe coding something, and I just had like a one-liner thought. It was not something I thought through. I just wanted to know if it would do it.
To watching this, I'm going to make you spend money.
Yeah, like I time and I kept going because the first thing came out good, and I was like, well, what if I did this? And it snowballed into this app that I made, and it just turned into something I never really would have thought of to begin with. It just kind of the snowball effect of it was like, it started with the grain of an idea
to watch it come to life, right?
Yeah, there's a freedom in that, because I think I'm used to, when I create something, whether it's I'm working on a podcast or my website or piece of writing, I feel like I have to know where I'm going with it. Like certainly if you're writing something, you should know where it's going, right? You should have an outline. That's how I've classically trained as a journalist to write it all out first. And so with vibe coding, though, I can just get into Shakespeare.
But this is important too with vibe coding, though, Heather. You need to know what you want, right? You need to have that design document spec. You need to put your ideas down. You, though? Because if you just start, you're going to get bad results.
I don't know. I'm going to disagree, because
what you want.
This one thing that I made.
If you don't know what you want, then how are you supposed to communicate that?
Well, I kind of did it, though. Like I had no idea what I wanted. I was just curious, and I asked Shakespeare to do something, and it did it. And then that led to the next thing, and it led to the next thing. And I was like, I didn't have a plan here. Could I have planned this out ahead of time in my brain? I got a little creative freedom there. I got a little taste of making my brain do something different.
What application did you create here?
Do you remember the one I made? I called it Mind Forge, or actually Shakespeare called it Mind Forge, where I just asked it to make like an app to make me a better thinker and a better decision maker. And it started making like thinking, frameworks, decision making frameworks. And I was like, well, this is cool. What if I added affirmations? What if I added a meditation timer for breath work, and it turned into like, I started thinking of all these personal development tools that I would have used back in the day, that I would have made PDFs of, and I would have printed out PDFs and given them to people.
It all depends on how complex your application and how complex your idea is. If it's a basic application that doesn't use, I'll say, a lot of complex like Nostr features or application features, then sure. But you will absolutely have a bad time if you go and completely change direction without understanding what you want, unless it's just adding a new item on a web page. That's different. Like if you're just adding fields and adding graphics or adding components, I can understand that. But if you're thinking about designing a full, I don't know, professional production level application, you can't just wing it the whole entire time. You're going to end up spending tons of money.
This wasn't something that I was like, I'm going to charge people money for this. This was something where I was like, this could be a suite of free tools. And then I was like, well, I could turn it into a landing page. And then it's like, oh, well, what if people, marketers could make landing pages that had free tools or free information? There's one use case for something that's super easy to, conversationally do no coding whatsoever, not look at it from a technical angle. But if you wanted to, instead of giving like downloadable freebies, just put the tools out there on a website, like a landing page that works. That was kind of what it turned into. That was not at all what I wanted it to be. It just kind of happened. And that's a creative freedom right there, where, I didn't look at it from a technical standpoint. I didn't look at it like I'm going to make an app that makes money. I just thought, what if it made me this?
Well,
and then that led to
it all
a
depends
new
on what
thing.
kind of application you want. Like,
Yeah.
if I didn't have a plan for, we'll say, how I wanted to implement on Zap Tracks, how I wanted to implement the music and how I wanted it to all look, and planning out the design, like, I don't think I would have been successful. But that's a fairly complicated application.
Yeah, because that's
So
kind of merging
it depends on what you
technologies.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
app of
depends
yours,
on
that
what you
Zap
want.
Tracks. Yeah.
And the same with Podster. I've made simple apps. You're 100% right. I've made simple apps where it was just a one-line prompt, and then I've added on to it. But I'll say the majority of my more complicated apps, I wouldn't have wanted to
Plan
do it
them
any
out.
other way without having a larger planning phase. Yeah,
This is kind of a good case study in how, like, you're
depends on what
Well,
you
you're
want to
super
do.
technical. Yeah, you're technical, so like the technical things to say, or the the things to plan out. Where I'm not that technical at all, and so I'm just going to be like, "Hey, build me a pretty thing." And then if it doesn't come out right, I'm like, "Okay, we'll do this instead." And then it kind of readjusts and fixes what I want. And there's just much more than one way to vibe code.
Yeah, so I'm not saying build me a pretty thing. I'm saying build me a functional thing.
Yeah. So, I came out with something that was pretty and functional.
I'm not trying to play down. Like, there's, like, sometimes function in design fight. And
what we should do?
Merge the two, where design needs to work well with the functionality,
You know what?
and vice versa.
You made me realize.
I think planning really helps that out a lot.
You and I have never vibe coded together. We've never co-vibe coded. Like, you work in your silo and I work in my silo. What if we put you and me side by side and we made an app together?
I'd love to
Would we kill each other?
Idea that both of us had, let's say, an hour to do or something like that, and to see
that'd be funny.
what you come up with in an hour. Like, it's like a vibe-a-thon, right? Like, like we have this prompt, we have this idea that we want to build an app for widgets, and you have your hour to build your widget app. I have my hour,
like a competition,
to build my widget app, and at the end we see who came up with the better app.
And then we have people that would be a fun thing too. That we could do that, and then we could also like sit side by side at the same machine and fight for an hour and decide.
No, I will just yell at you the whole time, and we
would just fight. Would we just kill each other? Somebody would have to yell at us and pull us apart. Like, don't kill each other.
I know. Or like, I don't know. I'd be like elbowing you, like, get away.
No, you know what? We could get along for the common good. And vibe code something for the greater good of humanity. I don't know what would entice us.
The vibe-a-thon.
We could do a vibe-a-thon where we tried to each make the same thing and see whose is best and make the community vote on it.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
Eventually we're gonna do that. This is why
competition. This is fun.
This is what we're soapbox sessions sometimes like.
Just I'm nerd sniping myself again here, but I'm coming up with ideas like how we do it. It'd be really fun to like do it like a live stream. Like, you like live stream yours, I live stream mine.
Yeah, two different screens.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let's go back to the Nostr Valley schedule. So after I do the app creation with Nostr through vibe coding, talk about Shakespeare, we're going to have a panel talking about value for value and the future of music, which we've discussed on the show recently. This is going to be with Open Mike and Ainsley and Heather, since she's familiar with this topic and has worked in the industry. She's going to moderate it. She'd be perfect for that. Then we're going to shift gears a little bit to talk about building niche communities. Seth is going to talk about Zap cooking and then just general of building the other stuff and niche communities. We're going to have some more application talk. TK is going to talk about his Nostr TV app, which is really cool. I've never used it because I'm not an iOS guy. But I've seen screenshots and videos, and it's essentially, think of it as like Zap.stream but it lives on your TV, so it's
for an Apple TV
Nostr
specifically
video streaming app for Apple TV. Yeah, so that's cool.
Cool.
He's gonna talk about that and maybe even give some demos. I'm excited
I
for
like
that.
this. This is a good panel, or not panel, a good, balanced day of things that are good for lifestyle. We're talking about cooking, we're talking about music, we're talking about
It's going to
content.
be another vibe coding thing. So he didn't use Shakespeare. So it's going to be he's going to be talking about another tool. So we're going to have a wide variety of AI development tools that we're going to talk about. So that's cool.
Cool.
I like to, have as many tools at our disposal because I don't use just one. It's kind of like Pokemon.
I don't
You got to
think
catch them all
anybody
and find
does.
your favorite one.
This is what
Oh,
I've
no.
noticed about people, that they have every tool now.
I used to use a lot when I'd back in April,
More?
May, June, 6 months ago. I was using a lot. Now I only use 2.
Wait, define
but I
a
used
lot.
to use as many as I could.
Like more than 6?
I used Cursor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. I used Cursor. I used
Mm-hmm.
Goose. I
Mm-hmm.
used Lovable one time just to see what it was like. And then
Didn't
I
like it.
used, let's see, when did MK Stack come out? Probably June-ish. Yeah, so
Was it
then,
June?
yeah, so that's 4. That's 4 I've used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
I've noticed.
I used Google Gemini 5,
Yeah, I still use
AI
that.
Studio 5. So I used
Mhm.
5, and then also I would use 6 would have been, I guess, ChatGPT.
Yeah, most people have some, they have ChatGPT or Gemini to refine the prompt, and then they go in the AI builder, whichever one it is, whether it's, Shakespeare level, whatever. And then, they have that, and then people, oh my God, I've seen people go down a rabbit hole of tools where it's how many tools did you use together to build that one thing? And so I don't know.
I'm curious to see what TK uses.
Yeah, that'll be good because
and also is he using Claude Code? Is he using Goose? Who knows?
You think you know them all, and then
curious.
somebody hits you with another one that you hadn't heard of before.
Maybe he's using something none of us have used before. That'd be pretty cool. So to
that would
learn.
Be cool too.
Then we're going to talk about Buddhabit Biz. He's going to talk about tools for Git-centric dev communities. So we're going to have some geeky dev talk for all you devs out there. And then we're going to rope it all back in, and we're going to have Manami, Seth, Arcanox, and Open Mike talking about the state of Nostr, and I'm going to moderate that panel and ask them basically what's up.
Cool.
How's Nostr doing? Are we doing the thing? How can we do the thing in a different way? How can we grow Nostr and just talk about growth and things, kind of state of the union really, and what's going on inside and outside the ecosystem.
What is the state of Nostr?
I'm not going to give any spoilers away. You're going to have to watch.
No, that's a loaded question. That's a very loaded question.
The state of Nostr is two prongs here. I'm seeing we've never had more developers building applications than we do now. The amount of applications, websites, Nostr integrations, all that is exploding thanks to AI first development with vibe coding. But I feel that user numbers are stagnant, if not shrinking too.
But how do we prove that? How do we?
So I'm biased in this because I guess I use the Derek algorithm for this.
The Derek algorithm.
Not to sound like some type of I don't want to sound like an elitist asshole here, but I have a lot of people that follow me, and
he has a huge following. It's actually a fact. It's a large number.
But my post engagement isn't what it used to be, and I've noticed this. Definitely 100% noticed this. And it's not, some people might say, oh, well, it's, you need to change the type of content, or the audience has changed. The audience is still the same. Noster's audience hasn't really changed but it's not just my posts too. I see other people's posts. Anybody, any developer, any popular Nostr user that used to get tons of engagement, it isn't as large as it used to be. Instead of, for example, maybe every post I would say would blow up with engagement, now maybe only one a day does. And I think that this generally happens in the morning. Once we hit
that's a busy
midday,
time on Nostr, yeah.
Noster's not as busy, and in the evenings it's pretty dead. Now we also just had the northern hemisphere's been in a warm cycle
Summer.
for the past 6 months, summertime, we love to touch grass and touch water and all those things. So I understand that, Noster's usage, social media usage as a whole was going to die down. But we have a lot of problems that we like to kind of ignore on Noster. So
like
that's
usability
I think
problems, or
yeah, like we do. And
you know what though?
we know that
I
social
wouldn't be.
platforms are growing. I mean, look at Blue Sky. Blue Sky's still growing, so people are
It
still looking
grows.
for an alternative to legacy.
Well, and those are also
So,
things that people have heard of because they're covered in the media. I don't know that I'm more bullish on Nostr. I think you're
Noster's
bullish on
never
Nostr.
covered. It's the underdog.
Yeah, it's never covered ever. It's because it's
Noster is the underdog.
it's not a company, but I think that we still, whatever I post on Nostr is going to get more engagement than it would on Twitter. Certainly more than on Blue Sky, where I think I'm pretty much essentially shadow banned for ever using the B word
Yeah.
on Blue Sky. I've gotten on the
No, yeah,
naughty
you can't
list
say
on Blue
Bitcoin
Sky. No, because then they put you on like all these like hate lists and these block lists and like
Oh, yeah.
literal block lists.
It's been a long time since I've looked, but I think I was on like 1,500 block lists.
Yeah, I was on
like a year
probably
ago because
just.
I said Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say Bitcoin over on the Blue Sky.
Nope, you can't. You get blamed for all kinds of things, and then you get put on all kinds of lists. So I still think I get more engagement on Nostr. I could post the dumbest thing, and somebody will probably like it, zap it, or respond to it. And whereas you could do the same thing on
I think
X and nothing.
zaps are the indicator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever you would post, let's say you post the same thing on Twitter and you post the same thing on Noster, you're gonna get 0 sats on Twitter.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're using to gauge your quality of engagement and your feedback, because zaps are the best form of feedback that you could get, then yeah, Noster's always going to win.
But if you pose a question,
at the end of the day, likes are shit, and comments and interactions are the best engagement,
Yeah, but if you just A/B tested it, right? If you posted the same question on X versus the same question on Nostr, like somebody's going to answer you on Nostr. Nobody's going to see it on X. I do this all the time, not purposely, but my post from Nostr bridge to X for me through this. There's a bridge tool that Rabble made.
That.
Yeah, and it's so like whatever I post to Nostr, post to X, and so sometimes my Nostr friends like my posts on X because they're my Nostr friends, but like you might see some interaction there. Somebody might interact with something on X because I posted it, from Nostr, but it's usually people that know me from Nostr who interact over there because I don't know, it's just funny because like there's a few people who are on both.
Yeah, and I used to see some of that. Back in the day, I had a large Twitter following, and I had always had tons of engagement on Twitter. But now you don't get engagement unless you pay Elon $8 a month or something like that. So
yeah, it's like
really
8, different tiers.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I never got a paid blue check. So I was a blue check back in the day, but I never paid for it.
Yeah, that's old school Twitter.
Yeah, old school Twitter. I got it in 2012.
Yeah, that's the way it used to be.
I was an Android blogger, an Android journalist. So journalists got verified. Everybody
that's right,
but our blog did. So,
and I forget what year it was. They opened it up where you could pay for it. You could pay for your blue checks because Elon needed some money. I think that had to have happened in the last 3 years then. So man, that's when Twitter kind of went downhill.
Yep.
After that.
So we'll talk about all this on the panel, State of Noster, and get other people's opinions on things. And then we're going to wrap up. We're going to go, it's actually finalized now. We're going upstairs for dinner. We were trying to find a different place, but we couldn't find another place that could take us all because we're a big rowdy crowd and we just couldn't fit everywhere. So the same venue it's a brewery. They have good food. We can eat upstairs or downstairs, but we have a room set up aside upstairs for us. So we'll all go upstairs and eat, and then we're going to go downtown and hang out and do some nightlife, and then we're going to wrap stuff up Sunday morning for a brunch at Barrel 21. It's a distillery, but they have good brunches, really good brunches. So we're going to go there, and that place should be a lot of fun too. I'm excited for that.
That's going to be great. I can't wait
to have my friends come and see where I live and
That's the best part.
For those of you that haven't been here, such as you.
Yeah, I've not been there. I haven't seen you since we were in Vegas in May. So not in real life.
It's been 6 months. Yeah.
Has it been that long?
That'll be fun. I think, getting back to what we were talking about earlier in the show, like, why do we do this? Why do you travel, almost the whole way across the country? Other people traveling halfway across the country, driving for hours, flying. I don't think we have any international people coming. We'll see. I don't think we do. But
you never
there's
know
a
with
lot of people
Nostr
from all over the country. Last year we actually had a guy fly his airplane there, like his airplane.
Really?
He was a pilot, and he owned an airplane. He flew his plane from southern, down like Florida, Georgia area or something like that.
I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah. Well, he picked people up along the way. He stopped at like, I don't remember where, maybe Virginia to refuel, and then he picked up like 2 people and then flew the rest of the way to State College, and then he flew them home too. Yeah.
We had a guy come from New York out to Phoenix when we did Culture Shock about a year and a half ago. It was February 2024.
Oh, nice.
And we had somebody come from New York just to come out to a Nostr thing in Phoenix, that's almost 2 years ago. That's so cool.
And people do this not because, it's easy. Like, it's a lot to travel that far, especially for like a 1-day event, 2-day event. But we do this, we travel far and wide to spend time with like-minded folks, because we have this bond that we've formed through Nostr and through Bitcoin, that we understand all these aspects of the legacy social system, the legacy monetary system.
We want to fix it.
Social legacy is bad. Legacy fiat money is bad. We have this layer that binds us together. So we're already friends because we already have this like consensus that things are fucked up in different parts of the world,
and we want to fix them.
And because of that, we bond, and we're all basically already best friends. There's no awkward getting to know you phase because we all have this consensus.
We kind of click. What would you say would be the common denominator or common denominators, multiple amongst all of the people of Nostr? Because you actually have met a ton of Nostr people. What do you think we all have in common? I mean, way more than me.
Well, I think so. I kind of hinted at it there. So we understand that the future isn't going to build itself, and that no one is going to build it for us. So we understand that, yes, that does cost time and money to do, hard work. So we spend the time, we spend the money, we put forth the work, the effort to build these communities, whether they're local communities or they're large online communities. It's all part of the same, I would say, grassroots.
Oh, very grassroots, yeah.
To build a better future. And I think that that's exciting, right? To think that you're part of the solution, to know that you're working on fixing a problem. So we bond together with that, and it's fun. It's intoxicating.
We bond through the stress.
Well, you go to these events and you come home all like charged and bullish and ready to
energetic
take on the world. And then you're like, man, when's the next event? Like,
it's addictive.
Yeah, and you can't go to the mall because it's expensive,
right.
But
would be fun, but
I say, if you can go to some events, really go out of your shell and do it.
Or start a meetup.
Start
larger
something. Events, people like to go to the larger events because it's what they've heard of. And I don't know about you, but I don't like the larger events as much as I like the smaller events. Do you feel the same way?
Yes and no. I mean, it depends. It's like if you we went to the Bitcoin conference in Vegas in May, and that's 30,000 people, and that's very heavy on the Bitcoin. Like when we do small events, we can be very heavy on the Noster. We can be very grassroots, meet every single person. Whereas like if you're going to an event that has 30,000 people, you don't get to just kind of face to face with. You don't get to know people as deeply. And I want to get to know people a little more deeply and see what makes them tick. Because I think
events are much more intimate.
Much more intimate. The commonality, I think, is that the people who are interested in fixing the internet or social media or whatever it is, however you want to word it, this is a group of builders, doers. This is the smartest, most creative group of people you'll ever meet. And if you're used to, if your world is made up of the people who stay home and watch Netflix and you're tired of it and you want something different, that's this group of people. The Nostr people are the people who are like, I am not content to sit at home all weekend and watch, Netflix and football. Like, I want to go out in the world, and I'm not dead yet. And I still want to meet people, and I want to change the world, and I have to find purpose in my life. And that's what I think that is great about this group of Noster people. Nobody's waiting to be told what to do. They're just doing it. And if we break something, we learn something. If we make a mistake, we learn from it and we get better. Like you and I fight all the time, but iron sharpens iron,
Well, I think it's important to find your flock and build that relationship, network with people that are part of your flock, and build that relationship, because those strong bonds are what helps build the future. Humans are social creatures, and it's in our nature. And I think these bonds that we build really help us not only build our local communities, our internet connected communities, but then we can pool them together whenever we need to. Like we buy goods and services from people that we've formed these relationships and bonds with,
like a circular economy.
Yes, absolutely. And I remember back at Nostrica when we were talking about having this online marketplace, and somebody asked in the audience about trust-based systems. And I answered the question saying that I think that some trust amongst us is fine. Like, I think that we can build these web of trust, and we can do business with one another based on web of trust. I think that your web of trust, your network, is very powerful. And Noster and Bitcoin, and then us traveling to meet people face to face, further strengthens all of that. We jokingly say FOD and friend of Derek on the show, and we have laughs. But legitimately, like, if I've met you at a conference and I've shared a meal with you, shared a beverage with you, conversed with you in person, like we've really strengthened that bond. And then we take it home, and then we both expand on that and expand and grow our networks and grow our web of trust with that bond. I think it's a beautiful thing. I really do. So in summary,
Derek's your friend for life.
Yeah. Don't fuck me over though, because I'll hold a grudge. Like, you will be kicked out of the FOD. Like, you will be removed from the FOD.
Easy to get in, easy to get out of the circle. Well, I think we kind of, that commonality thing is we know what we want, and we know what we want to build, and that sense of purpose that we want to find. But like, I can't do it by myself. Like, I need Derek to tell me how to do some things around here, because I might want to do something, and trust. I need somebody with like the technical expertise, and then Derek also knows everybody, as we've mentioned many times. If I need to find a guy who knows how to do a certain thing, I'm like, Derek, do you know somebody who knows how to do this? And he's like, yeah, I know like 36 people who know how to do that. Which one do you want? It's kind of like, you realize that it's strength in numbers. We can't rebuild the internet to be what we want it to be, which is, free, open, censorship free, a place where I'm not shadow banned because I used the wrong word or didn't put the emoji in this certain word that I can't say. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so like contrived anymore. Whereas like on Nostr, you can just be yourself and say what you want. And you're not going to get deplatformed. You're not going to get shadow banned. Not to say that there are no consequences, but this thing that we're building is pretty powerful and pretty magical. And it might not have the most users in the world or the most articles in TechCrunch about it, but what we're building is, I think, has a solid foundation. And it takes all of us. It takes more people. We want more people to do it and get in and with more ideas. And that's why it's just very grassroots, and why we want you there. We want more people to come take part in this and kind of grasp it and go, oh, this is awesome. I got a little taste of freedom with my NPub, and I've got a couple apps now, and I've got a great idea. Let's take it and run with it.
Purple pilling IRL, or HIRL.
We're hurling. We're hanging out in real life.
We're hurling.
Hanging out in real life. Purple pilling people.
So I think Noster Valley is going to be fun. There's a few people that I haven't met before, so I'm excited to meet them. And the majority of people that are coming, well, I don't know the majority of people that are coming, because it's permissionless. I don't know. Yeah. It's tough. I'll tell you what. So when everybody ultimately asks, they say, hey, I'd like to do an event like this. Open source it. How did you do it? And I don't even need to wait for the post-mortem, like in like a couple weeks, I can tell you where we fucked up. because we did it last year this way too, is that
What?
we want to reach the most amount of people. So that means we create, I don't have Facebook, so Seth creates an event on Facebook. So you could technically sign up on Facebook. Well, we need to reach people that are using Eventbrite. So I
Or
created an
Meetup or
Eventbrite,
whatever.
or Meetup. So you use literally all the organizational apps. And then we also allow signups through Noster. So we technically have no idea how many people are coming because it's not a ticketed event. It's free, and we have like 6 different ways to sign up so we can capture all the different audiences. So that's bad.
That's good.
Because we have no clue how many people are coming.
But it's good because we're open to bringing the legacy platform people in.
All the things.
All of the things. We're truly open source. So it'll be a surprise to see who shows up. Per usual, when we do these events, and when we did Culture Shock in Phoenix, it was an all-day event. It was like 9 to 5, and it was come and go. How
did you do signups for it?
Gosh, I don't remember. I think we begged people to show up on Nostr. We had a meetup group back then. I've noticed a lot of people have given up on Meetup, and you will find more events, I think, on Eventbrite now than Meetup, because I think people are scared off by the $30 a month Meetup fee and who's going to pay for it. Yeah, it adds up. I mean,
$30
inflation
a month for like one event I'll use a year on Meetup. Come on now.
Yeah, so like at Nostr Phoenix, I think we gather people by Nostr and Telegram, and that's about it. And we don't do Meetup anymore. It's nobody wanted to pay for it, which and we also want to make everything as Nostr as we can make it. So. We don't have meetups very often. We need to do them more often, but we're also very, very small here, probably smaller than you guys are in State College, Pennsylvania. So we had an all-day event. I mean, all day.
The event was smaller, but you probably have more Bitcoiners and more Nostr users.
I think we had a couple dozen people show up and people come out. We had people who showed up. I mean, people who live way out in the desert and want to be anons. Those people came in and said like, "Hey, talk to us." Yeah, and then they were like disappeared out the back door, literally. We had music. We
showed proof of NPub and then left.
Yeah, like they didn't even do that. They didn't want anybody to know who because they're hardcore Bitcoiners. They don't want people to know who they are, or where they live, or what they have, or if they're even in the region, which I understand.
There are some people like that in Nostrabama. They're like in the deep South that have like been in Bitcoin for over a decade, and they heard about an event and they're like, yeah, we're gonna come, and they're like super shadowy, super coder, like real anon, and they show up and they're like, what's up? I'm anon. Just wanted to say hi. All right, peace. It was cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's fun. That's what makes it colorful. We had food, we had music, and we had panels. So we had if you take what Nostr Valley is going to be, it was probably like a full day of panels and entertainment. We had Sarah Jade live on Toonster. We had Heidi made us a bunch of foods, and then QW's wife made us a bunch of food. So we had food and drinks and coffee with local coffee. And so again, that circular economy. We had the disc golf guys were out there. So we had like a couple things you could buy, some shirts. We had a guy with games. I mean, we had a cool little microcosm of this is what it could be. Well, no, you never know. Somebody could show up with. I have my Bitcoin painter painted tarot cards, so I could at least bring my tarot deck
from Bitcoin Painter. He's not going to be there, but he gave me a bunch of stuff, a bunch of handouts.
We'd have a slumber party.
So I have a whole bunch of swag to give out to people. I'm excited for that.
I have swag. I have stickers and things. I can bring my stickers. You can bring your swag. Spread it all out.
I got these stickers today.
Who's that?
Shakespeare. It's like a synth wave vibe. I love it. Like Shakespeare. Like
who designed that? That's awesome.
I don't know, but it's kind of badass. So I'm gonna hand out those.
That's cool.
Shakespeare synth. Yeah.
Shakespeare, totally 80s Shakespeare.
Let's hit up some Noster news.
There's always Nostr news. This is a very quickly moving space. You know what I wanted to talk about? It's at least worth a mention is somebody made a really cool AI bot. And I think that somebody was Calais who made the HAL, like from the movies HAL AI bot. And you can just HAL on Nostr.
It's cool because it's kind of like dual named. It's HAL from Space Odyssey, but then it's also how as in like how Finn too.
That's a deeper layer I didn't think of because I just got stuck on the Space Odyssey.
It has a knowledge of Bitcoin. It made me, but the icon is like how from Space Odyssey.
Yeah,
a little bit of both, I think. Like it's cool. Like we've had a plethora of bots. I mean, Noster literally uses an ostrich because of a Chat GPT 3 bot 2.5, 3 years ago. Yeah,
that's how the Nostrich began.
Real cool. Yeah, so
you know the lore.
The way that this is lore. So the bot was ran by Will Casarin, and the bot's name back then was GPT-3 bot, I think it was, or maybe it was just GPT-3. It's now called Dave, but it's the same bot. Anyways, Walker America, a friend of the show, friend of Derek, he said something along the lines of, "Hey, GPT-3 bot, tell me a joke about Noster." And the bot replied something along the lines of, "Noster is or what do you get when you something something? You get a nosy ostrich." And because the joke punchline was nosy ostrich, immediately Walker's like, "Well, you know what? Damus is an app, and then the theme of Damus is purple. So, hey, Midjourney, make a purple ostrich image." And it was a purple ostrich, and we saw it. Yes. So Walker inadvertently came up with our bird.
So now we know. I did not know that.
Yeah. So he told a joke, or he asked a bot to tell a joke about Noster. The bot said nosy ostrich, and then he said, "Hey, make it a purple ostrich because Damus is purple." And then he posted the image, and everybody was reposting it, and then Jack Dorsey posted it on Twitter, and everyone's like, "Well, I guess this is our mascot now." And it just kind of fell together. And
I just thought somebody
2.5 years later.
Yeah, I thought someone played with the spelling. I thought Noster automatically just kind of came. Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
A bot thought that. Yeah, a bot thought that.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Speaking of the Noster. So this week we saw one of the more popular apps come out with a major overhaul, a major update. Yakihonne.
Ooh, yes.
Yakihonne first started out on Noster as a blogging app, and then they added kind one messages, and then a year later they redid their app and released like Yakihonne 2. It had all these incredible features, and then they just released a new version called Orbit. I guess we'll say version 3, but their Orbit version is even more enhanced, adding more features. It now has relay feeds, which relay feeds are really cool, and only a handful of apps utilize them. Like everyone loves Jumble as a web app. Jumble has relay feeds. So now these relay feeds can be utilized in Yakihonne. And it also supports Outbox model. It also has an offline database, so you can have all of your content and read it offline. You can even comment and reply. And then once you come back online, those events will send and publish.
Ooh.
You can use it essentially offline. And
it has new features. Okay.
And it has it's had a built-in wallet with Nostr Wallet Connect for maybe a year or so. And it's no KYC too. So anybody that wants to sign up for Nostr and use a Lightning wallet, you can use Yakihonne and do no KYC wallet and start sending and receiving zaps. But the relay feeds are really cool. So relay feeds are a feed of content only from one specific relay. And there's some developers, mostly Fiat Jeff, that are working on these topical type relays. So maybe a relay only shows, he has several examples of these, like positive content. Maybe there's a negative content relay. I don't think there is. Actually, no, there's a complaint.
That's called Twitter.
It's a complaint relay, like where people are just complaining. So he has a positive relay, a negative relay.
And they call it Karen?
There's a relay about whales. He has a left wing relay. He has a relay about unique content, like not the same, because Nostr has a lot of yay Bitcoin, yay Nostr content.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff that's like completely, it's like everything that isn't Nostr and Bitcoin, this unique relay. So essentially
in practice, I could select certain relays and therefore get certain content. So it's like I'm creating my own algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the whole
Okay.
thing of, be your own algorithm, choose your own algorithm. This allows you to do that by choosing and configuring these feeds. But then also,
Cool.
for example, if you wanted to add a relay feed of Noster Plebs, my naming service for users that are using the Noster Plebs relay, you could add that relay as a relay feed and then only see content from the Noster Plebs relay. Or if you, for example, wanted to only see content from a Web of Trust relay, like my Noster Elites relay, because you didn't want any spam, you only wanted like people in Derek's Web of Trust, you add
Right.
Noster Elites relay and you only get that content. So it's really cool. It's just another way to give you more configured content, more ways for you to choose and configure and build your own algorithm, giving you more user choices because you can't really do that anywhere else. So
But
it's
and
really
wouldn't it
unique
help
in that
you?
regard.
It would help you to kind of discover more of the content you want, because I do hear this as a gripe of I
Yeah.
come to Nostr and it's just Bitcoin content or economic
Yeah.
content. Like, what if I want to
They're
just
always
see
talking
cats?
about this money. Yeah. So
Yeah. What
so
what
yeah,
what if Heather
you
Larson shows up?
add the
Yeah.
unique feed. Add the
Yeah.
unique
What if
relay feed and you tap on that and there's no Bitcoin or Nostr content in that feed.
I want a cat relay, so I can have like the Heather Larson cats relay, and it could just be like cat content, just because I'm a crazy cat lady. So like it could just be cat videos, cat pictures, cat memes. Like I could do that, right?
I'm wondering, I think there might already be a cat relay.
What? And I don't
A
know
cat
about
relay
it?
topic. I think so. I
Ooh,
don't
I'm
remember.
gonna have
There's
to
a
look
lot
for
of
that.
them. There's a lot of them. So you have to check it out. But as I said, also it supports Outbox model, which a lot of clients have been moving to the Outbox model over the past,
What
I guess,
does
2 years.
that do though? How does the Outbox
So
model help me as a user?
I'm glad you asked. Sure. So how does the Outbox model and what is it and how does it help you and why is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Simply put, it increases decentralization and it makes Noster more robust. How?
Okay.
The legacy method for communicating on Noster meant two people had to share a common relay. So Heather, if you and I want to talk to each other, we both
Mm-hmm.
have to use the Damus relay, for example. Okay?
Okay.
If
Makes
I
sense.
don't use the Damus relay and you don't use the Damus, or I'm sorry, and you do use the Damus relay, and we don't share any relays at all in common, I can't talk to you. So the only way for you and I to talk and know each other exists is to share a relay such as the Damus relay. So what ends up happening is that over time, we all gravitate towards the top maybe dozen relays because that's where everybody is posting their content to.
Mm-hmm.
So what the Outbox model does is it makes the clients do all of the heavy lifting, all of the extra work. And what it does
About
is
time.
it looks at the relays that you're using, Heather.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I open up my client, it says, Derek's following Heather. Let me connect to the relays that Heather is using and pull down her content from her mailbox there, from her Outbox.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay.
whenever I make a comment on your post,
Mm-hmm.
that's like mail sitting in your inbox. So then what your client does is it connects to all of your inboxes and it pulls down all your messages and reactions and all the things that people are sending to you. So that way you can use any relay that you want. I can use any relay that I want, and we can still communicate to one another because the clients now do this more technical thing and figure out how to make us talk, how to make us communicate. So the heavy lifting is put on the clients.
That's
And
good.
users don't need to understand how any of this works. They just need their client to support it. And then
Yeah.
you can use any relay that you want. You can change relays. You can run your own relay. I can run
Well,
my own relay.
here's a
For
question.
example, Amethyst connects to 1,000 different relays. Like that's crazy.
That's way too many
But it
for one brain
drastically,
to. Yeah.
yeah, but it, oh yeah, exactly. Like, but that means I have, you know, people are using 1,000 different relays that I follow, and it's drastically making Nostr more censorship resistant and more decentralized because they're not just using the same 12 relays. So it's
when
cool.
I started on Nostr, it was like a couple years ago, and so I think when I first started on Nostr, it was still a thing to pick out your relays, and you kind of had to like know something
Yeah.
about relays. Does that still happen? Because I'm not new to Nostr anymore. I don't know what a new person is going to come and find as far as the relay situation, because I don't think you need to know about the relays. Don't the clients automatically like set you up and you're good to go?
But that's also part of the problem. So if
Okay.
clients are only picking the same, I'll just say, dozen relays to hand out to people, again, we're all going to be using these same 12 relays.
And it's centralized
maybe there
again.
needs to be, So we have a service, Nostr.watch, and it has an API. Like what we could do is clients could go and look at this and pick the top performing based on like speed. It would be a ping latency, the fastest relays for you, and automatically assign 3 of them or 4 of them or 6 of them or whatever to you. And that way it's drastically decentralizing the network. And then if you're an advanced user, you can go in and change things around. Or if one of your friends says, hey, this is a good relay, you should use that, then you can use that. But new users shouldn't have to figure out where they want their content to go and how relays work. Clients should make recommendations and then maybe make them out of your web of trust or people that you're following. If example, you join Noster because of somebody that's into permaculture and you follow that person, you could look at their relays and that they're recommending maybe, and you join those relays or something like that. Like we can do a lot of things to hide this technology to people because Noster's very technical and it turns people away. We need to have the technology fade into the background and work
very much so
for it to be successful.
So this is a long game, like we know what we want to do. We know where we're headed. We know we need strength in numbers. Yeah, so it's not like we have like the next 5 years of our lives or of Nostr planned out by any means, but we get more people in who know how to do some things. We got some skilled developers. You get some people with some ideas who want to take part in this grassroots movement. There's a space for everybody. There's a space for you and all of your friends. Just come on down, no matter what you're into. Find your relay. Permaculture relay. Come on down to the Nostr. You like music, you like art, you like photography. There's all that.
Well, let's talk about some real quick AI news. There's a new sexy app out there from OpenAI.
Is it sexy? Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's called Sora 2, and you know why I think it's sexy? Because I think it's going to blow up for them. They wanted to create a social network so they could harvest user data, and they literally did. They made AI TikTok. Like it's literally TikTok, but it's all AI apps. Yeah,
it's so weird. Okay, I have a question for you. You never used TikTok? Never once?
Never used TikTok. I'm not a TikToker.
Neither. I've tried it. Okay, it was cool 4 years ago, but now not so much. But it's not my kind of thing. If it were a Nostr, I want a Nostr TikTok. That's what I want, not the TikTok by ByteDance. I want an independent one.
I also think with all the news about the United States kind of like turning it into state media.
Pretty much
that all that bullshit that's happening with the TikTok ban and sale and all that stuff, people were turned off by TikTok because of it, and they want an alternative. And people were going to use Sora to make AI videos, download them and post them to TikTok anyways. So Sam Altman just took out the middleman.
He just He
okay, so himself
So at least you know what you're getting, right? So so first of all, what is Sora? Is there an app? Because I've only used it in the desktop, and I don't think I have any idea what I fully grasp here.
So if you have an iPhone, you can install the Sora 2 app. Okay. Android doesn't have it. I don't know if it's coming for Android.
Oh, really?
You can go to sora.openai.com. No, I use it on the web on my phone. I use the web app on my phone.
Okay.
And you have to be invited. Each person that gets an invite gets 4 more invites. So it's an invite tree. So you can, perpetually keep inviting people, friends, family, whatever, post it on the internet for points, whatever you want to do. So you can get an invite. It's not too hard. And then immediately you can start creating videos.
Yeah.
For you feed that.
It just does it.
Let's see what's that?
It just does it. Like I didn't intend to make a video, and it made a video for me. Like I didn't ask it to make it. I was trying to caption the first video that I wanted it to make, and it took the caption that I tried to make for that video, and it made another video out of that. And I was so confused. I was like, "What is happening?"
You can
I didn't
remix other people's videos too. Like,
Yeah,
if you
it's
create a
interesting.
video and I like it, I can remix it. Like it again, like I
Yeah.
don't use TikTok. I never have, but I can see the appeal. It's fun.
It's a fun toy for sure, but then you have this whole like there's no real people, which is weird to me because it's an entire app of AI slop. Really?
So maybe the honeymoon phase wears off fast then, right? Like
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe 2 weeks you play with it, you make all these cool things, and then you're just like, okay, I'm kind of bored seeing Mike Tyson and Albert Einstein hang out,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's like
it's
no, it's going to
funny the first
evolve.
time you see it. Once you
I
see
don't
all
know.
these like dead celebrities in like making their their videos and selfies. Once you see that, you've seen it all. Like you can only see it so many times. Maybe it loses its
Or
lackluster in a couple weeks.
will it kind of evolve because TikTok evolved and the style of videos has
Yeah, it
evolved
could.
over years, and maybe AI gets smarter and it starts to, like I accidentally made a second video. I didn't try to do that. It just happened. So like what if it starts taking over, just like makes all your videos for you,
Sam
manages
Altman
your
likes
channel,
this.
right? And
Who
which I don't know,
knows
that
what
might
they're gonna
scare me a
do?
little.
Like,
But
in my opinion, they wanted to do this so people will upload more photos and people
Mhm.
will prompt more so they can mine more data and train their AI and make their AI better, yada, yada, yada. Like,
Probably.
I think it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna blow up for them. It's because
Mhm.
people like cool shit and it's kind of funny to see, Abraham Lincoln boxing George Washington. Like,
I
it's
haven't found that
funny.
yet. I'll give it
Yeah, my
another
son
chance.
showed
Like
me that earlier.
I'll give it a whirl. Like I'm trying to be open minded because as somebody who's not inclined towards, TikTok's not my taste, but I think
Yeah.
it's fun
I'm
to
not gonna
tell.
scroll it.
Yeah, like
Like I'm
I'm
not gonna
definitely not
doom
going to do that.
scroll it, but I'll watch a couple of. I've watched maybe what I've had it for 2 or 3 days, something like that.
Mhm.
I've watched probably a total of a dozen videos. That's it. I mean, I've
Yeah,
made maybe 4 or 5, and they've all been like Bitcoin and Nostr videos, of course.
yeah.
Like,
I saw your purple ostrich video. I think you had like Shakespeare on a
yeah,
piano or something. Like
yeah.
but it's
Uh,
fun. It's a creative outlet. I think it's a fun thing. You just have to remember that like they're kind of harvesting your data. So, user
yeah.
beware.
Hey, you know what you're getting into. As long as you don't know what you're getting into, you can do whatever you want, I think.
There you go. It's fun
Cool.
toys. I don't know. Sora 2, people are hitting me up for invites because I think I mentioned it somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know how to do the invites. I got to catch up, man.
Let's talk about some boosts. We had a couple boosts that we need to read out from last week's
We
show.
did have a couple boosts. I'm excited. I like the boosts, man. I look for them every day to see what you guys are saying, which episodes you listen to. So we got one from Mark. Mark, you know what? I gotta hand it to Mark. Mark is kind of an old school Nostrich and has always
Yep.
listened to probably everybody's podcast at some point in time. Mark's boost says, it was the quit nerd sniping yourself episode. He said, we need to make interoperability sexy again, says Derek Ross. And then me answering in the husky voice, interoperability.
And then you set it back all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was funny.
Have we
Yeah,
made
that's good.
interoperability sexy again? Like maybe that needs to be a panel. How to bring sexy back to
Yeah.
interoperability.
How to bring sexy back to interoperability.
We're bringing sexy back to the least sexy thing in history, but
The
no.
least
We also
sexiest term. Yeah.
right interoperability. Maybe there's an ASMR about that. I don't know. Future episodes, maybe we'll do an all ASMR episode and whisper about interoperability. But okay, there was the episode that we called Cash App Money, and this is from Phil Bill. Threw us down 1,000 sats. Like that's a whale boost, man. Thank you so much. And he says, thanks so much, guys, for starting this podcast. It is so needed. I'm using Primal, Damus, and I know I'm missing so many features and need to better understand the value proposition of this technology and using relays. So hopefully you just heard what we were talking about for a little bit here on this episode. So those are a couple boosts
Thank you, Phil
that we
Bill, and
got.
thank you, Mark.
Yeah, those are cool.
Appreciate the
So
boosts.
keep the boosts coming. We love it.
Keep the boosts coming. We'll keep reading them out.
You boosted the last episode. I saw that. You gave a boost to our own episode. I think you did.
I've done that on every episode.
Have you? I only saw the last one.
Yeah. I've boosted every one of our episodes. That's called. We're gonna think of a term for that. Well,
it's
I
called.
don't know what the term is, but I'm boosting it to
boosted his own show.
Help help its trending.
Yeah, I call it stuffing the ballot box.
400 sats. I think I boosted 1,000 sats the very first episode. The first time I did it is because I was testing something on Podster, and then I decided, whatever, I'll boost it a little bit every week just to get my comment in the feed, to help it reach more people. That's
there you go.
It's hashtag
I don't boost
marketing,
it,
Heather.
There you go. I don't listen to the show or boost it, but I will
You're
interact with the comments though.
Damn it.
I like to interact with the comments though. That's my style of
that is perfect because we each play our part. I give you money when I boost it, and then you
just keep it rolling. And I edit the show, so I don't want to hear it again.
You do. Katie and I, when we were talking about the podcast in the car earlier tonight, because that's what we do, talk about the podcast. And I actually told her how much work you do, because I used to do podcasts when I was an Android blogger a decade or more ago.
Oh, it's less work now.
I produced the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but a decade ago producing the show, I hated it. Now you have the help of AI and really good platforms. Yeah. But I told her how much work you do and how much I appreciated your hard work on this. So thank you for being the producer. And then you know what Katie said? She said you're like Robin and I'm
Batman?
Howard Stern.
There we go.
They have a podcast.
I get that a lot.
So I'm like Howard Stern and you're Robin. You're the producer and I'm the long-haired annoying guy.
I was actually always that's true, no hair. I was always that role in radio. And in TV too. I was always the producer and sometimes on air too, but
that means I'm
always
the
the producer. You are the talent. You are the talent. I tried to say it with a straight face. So help me God. I hope your wife sees this. Because we do talk about your wife a lot. And I haven't met her yet.
Now.
You're the talent. Yeah.
Well, thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you're listening to this on a legacy podcast app and you can't send a zap, I would urge you to check it out next time on Fountain or your favorite podcasting 2.0 application.
You know what else?
You can send a boost into the show.
There's YouTube, and if you have no idea what we're talking about as far as zaps and boosts, then just like and subscribe on YouTube. It's I know he says it's not as good as zaps, but if you don't know what those things are or how to do them yet, just like us on YouTube. It helps us out in the YouTube world.
You can see like all the faces I make at Heather, like as she's
yeah, you get the full experience of like the facial expression and us rolling our eyes at each other for sure.
Good stuff. All right. Thanks for listening. And you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, night, depending on when you're watching or listening.
And we'll see you in Nostr Valley. Yeah.
See you in Nostr
Ostrich
Valley.
gang sign.